Hello, my name's Julie from So Unique, and I will pop all the links down below where you can find me on social media. Well, a big welcome to everyone to episode 173. Thank you for joining me this week, and I hope you enjoy the vlog. This week it's going to be, I've had a naughty purchase. I've got 2 new starts, and I think it's 2 finished objects here. And yeah, so I think what I'll start with this week is what I have purchased, because that will sort of lead into what my new starts are. Well, I hope everybody's had a lovely week, and I hope the weather's not been too bad for you wherever you live. So today here we have lovely sunshine, and it's quite nice outside, which is lovely. The washing's drying well. Right, well, the new things that I bought this week are, well, it's yarn. I've got this yarn, so I've got 2 balls of this one, 2 balls of this, and 1 of that. You can see I've used half of it already, but I thought this pattern on this yarn was really nice. Now this pink will go with that, but I don't think I'm going to have enough spare of this to go with this, and you'll see why in a little while. But it just looks like rosebuds and leaves. It looks really nice, so I will show you how this looks when I get onto some of the new starts that I've had this week. But this is really nice yarn, and this is the Yummy Mummy. No, not Yummy Mummy. This is the Yummy by King Cole. Yeah, so that's lovely, and I might have to buy some more of this. So that is my purchase that I've done this week, and this is a beautiful colour. I absolutely love this one. Right, let's as you know, I have been making this goose for my eldest granddaughter, and had finished it last week but hadn't done the eyes. So I've managed to finish the eyes, and she's a sleepy goose. So we've got closed eyes, and I've put some eyelashes on, so she's just going to sit, I don't know, on the shelf or on her bed. I mean, you could even have her over your shoulder and snuggle her, so that's nice and soft actually. So I'm really pleased with that. I mean, my embroidery is not perfect coming to the eyes, because this side's not quite as good as the other, but they are lined up, so they match each side, which is good. So she does know that she's getting this goose, because I did see her at the weekend, and I said to her, you know, would you like a goose? So she says yes. She said, yes please. I said, well, it's made. I said, I just need to embroider the eyes on, and that's what I did. So she's all ready now to go to a new home. So that might be next weekend. Right. The next thing, I have been doing some more crochet, and I've been working on my granny squares for my cardigan, and I've made 15. I've managed to get 15 done. So these won't block in. See how they're curling a bit, but I got the last bunch blocked last week, and they've turned out really well. They definitely needed a bit of blocking, because like I say, mine are a bit sort of all curled up and that, but I spritzed them probably last Monday, I think it was, after I'd finished filming, or it was Tuesday, and I put them back on the blocking board, separated them, and I just sat the board on the bed, and it was that warm in the bedroom, it didn't take long for them to dry, and I've taken them off the board now, and they're all perfect. They're all the same size, and they're flat, and they're lovely. So I'll get these blocked tonight, and I think I need a basket really to put all my squares in, which I ought to find one out really. But now I'm enjoying this, and I mean, they don't take too long to do, but I have got other things that I want to do, so I just do a few a week. But I do think they look nice together. So that's another bit I've been doing. Just put that on the floor. Right, so I've been doing a bit of sewing now. If you remember, I said I'd get back to my last year's nativity felt thing, which I've been doing. So I started on the tinsel last week, and out of everything I've done on this, which is fiddly, it's taken time, I have enjoyed doing it, and I was really pleased to get back to sewing on this because I have been enjoying it. What did I do? I started this, I think, first, and I unpicked it 4 times because I wasn't happy with it. I'm still not happy with it, but it'll get finished. I'd have rather just got some tinsel yarn and stitch that on, because yeah, I think going through all the layers of felt, when you think you're doing the length of your stitch right, your stitch sort of disappears. It just disappears into the felt. But no, I need to get that bit finished, because that is been a bit of a pain. So I'm not enjoying that at all. But I did on Friday. I got all the pieces cut out for the squirrel and the sledge, and on Saturday I got them all stitched on. So I did glue them down with my nice blue glue stick that I've got on the Friday, and then just left them at work, and it was all nice and dry and flat, and I just stitched them all down on the Saturday, and they've turned out really, really well. So I'm pleased with that. And really, if I get the tinsel finished, then I've got to work on the kitchen, and that's got the most work to do, I think. And I think that might be, oh no, and I've also, and that's not it, I've also done this bit of stitching on here on the tree, and there's a bit of stitching there, and there's some, where is it, some stitching there, and I've just got to do an oval of stitching in here somewhere, but then I think that could be it. So I think the kitchen will probably take me quite a while to do. But like I said, I'm enjoying it, and I will be glad when that tinsel's done, because of that was not very nice. Yep, so as soon as that's done, it will get framed, and then I'll get Kevin to put it up in the shop for me. Right, so new starts. Right, I've left my box somewhere. Just bear with me a second. That's better. I've gone and left the box on the other side. Right, I decided that I wanted to start another one of the kits that I had for my birthday and Mother's Day, and it's this one. Now I've got 2 fungi kits, but this, I thought this was the easiest one to do. And when did I start it? Oh, I decided to start it on Friday, because I thought, well, there's a lot of little pieces here to cut out, so I thought I'll make a start, and then I can continue on Saturday cutting out. Anyhow, it didn't take long to cut all these pieces out, so I did that, placed everything on the hoop, I pinned everything on, and I glued these 2 on because these were the smallest, and then I started stitching on the Saturday. And that's as far as I've got. So I have done a little bit of stitching there on the cap, so it's obviously it's got to have some greenery on. There's stitching to do on all of the toadstools, and this one's got a bit of a centering which comes later, and this has got a little bit of the grass on, as you can see there. So I think I've done quite well really at getting as much done. Like I say, this one is quite simple to do, and yeah, I've got some of these in the shop, so I'm looking forward to doing this. And I have decided that after they've been up in the shop and I decide to bring them back home, I am going to put them in a frame to keep them clean. And I think I'm going to have a selection of these on my wall, probably upstairs on the landing. I've already got a cross stitch picture up there, and I thought I might do that small area full of these kind of things. So, and if they're in a frame, at least they keep clean, don't get dusty, because I don't fancy running the vacuum cleaner over that. So yeah, so that's one of my new starts. And the next thing is a bit of crochet. I did speak to my youngest granddaughter at the weekend, and I says to her, would you like a pig crocheting? And she says, oh yes. So this is the pattern I've got. I think I shared this with you last week, do you know, I can't remember. And this is done in double knit, and it's 25 centimetres tall, 10 inch that is. That is seated, so that doesn't account for the legs and the ears. So this is why I have bought this yarn with the pink. So I decided to start crocheting on this, I think it was Saturday evening I did some, and then I did some on Sunday. Well, if you look at the pattern, you can see the ears are quite big. This is an old Stylecraft pattern that I had in. Well, that is my one ear. I mean, look at the size of that. It's huge. So I've only done one ear. Then I decided to start on the head. So if you can see on the pattern, especially this one, the nose is done in a darker pink, and then it goes through and you've got your darker pink for your end of the feet. So this is my start of my head. So this is the snout part, and this is the straight part on the snout. So I think I've got 48 stitches round on this. And it's got to go up to 78, so that is going to be quite big. Now I've only bought 2 balls of this yarn and 1 ball of the pink, and I've already used half a ball of pink. But I've got 1 ear to do and the end of the legs to do, so I think I might end up having to get some more of that. And I definitely think I might have to get some more of this. But you can see how it's crocheting up, and I think that's really pretty. And I showed the yarn to my granddaughter, because it all, when I'd ordered it, it all ended up at their house for some reason. That's Amazon for you. So yes, I think once I've got the head done, then I'll know how much yarn I've got left. And then I will probably do the body, and I reckon that's going to take up more than 1 ball. So this piggy is going to be quite big, but I'm sure she'll not mind, because it's nice and soft and it's very, very snuggly. And I've got some little eyes for it, and I've got to do some little nostrils. So I think I'm going to get the head completed. So hopefully next Monday I'll have a completed head, if nothing else. But yes, anybody can guess what size this is going to come out? Because I think it's going to be quite big. I don't know. So well, that's that. So I'll probably be working on this tonight. Right. Oh, and the other thing, I've got back to sewing now. Last year Kevin asked me for another waistcoat for when he goes to the shows with Adele. So I said yes, and I cut it out and I left it on one side because for some reason, wait a minute, I thought I'd cut the wrong back out. That was it, I'd cut the wrong back out because I wanted the back that has the the strap on with the buckle, and the back I'd cut out had got pleats in, which I didn't want that. So I thought, right, I'll get started on this last night because he needs it for the weekend. So I stitched the outer together. So we've got the toadstools on the front and we've got a red back. So the idea of this is so we can put her details on the back of her business, so when Kevin's wandering around the show, at least people will know what stall he's from. So I stitched it together, and I thought the seam allowance, you can see it's like that, it's about 1.5 centimetres, which is quite a lot, but that's what you get in dressmaking. So I says to him, try it on before I do any more, just in case it doesn't fit, in case you put a bit of weight back on. And of course he's put a bit of weight back on, exactly the same as me. I've put a bit of weight back on. So for me now, I'm being good, I'm trying to trying to lose the bit I've put on, and of course it was a bit tight, but I had done the inner seam at half inch, I think I did that. So I'm going to unpick the shoulder seams, and I'm going to unpick the back, and I'm going to do a large stitch on it. I'm probably going to do that this evening to see if it fits in before I go any further, and if it does, then I'll do the other piece and we'll just put it together. But yeah, I don't know, we'll get there, we'll get it sorted. But I do need to find my pattern out because I've only got the pieces for this waistcoat. I've got no instructions or anything, so I'm going to have to remember how to do it, but I'm sure I'll manage. Right, where can I put this? Pop that there. Right, what else? But oh, I've made some new bags. Well, I've only made 2. Basket bags. So this is the first one, this is a medium. So it's got white lining, so you could actually hang this on your arm while you're walking, and you could be doing your crocheting or your knitting socks or whatever. So I don't know how much yarn it will carry, but that I will find out tomorrow when I go to work. I'm going to take this to work and see sort of how much yarn it will hold, and get it on the website at some point this week. So this is a lemon one, so I've got some more fabric to do another one of these, but that's all I've got. And this has got like an off-white lining, so I really like this one. Mind you, I like the cherry one as well. That's the trouble, you see, I make these things and I want to keep one of everything. But I am going to trial the next size up of this bag to see how much yarn that holds. So that'll be another job for this week. So I am thinking if I can get 1 or 2 made up, then I could get them photographed and pop them on the website probably next week. So if I do the sewing this next week, I'll have a better idea when I've got a few things made, and it's getting the photographs that takes the longest because I have to do them while I'm at work, so, and I need to do them while I'm shut, so it all takes time. But I will get a few done. So that's the only 2 that I've made so far. Like I said, I've got another one of the lemon ones cut out, so that's just sat here, so that'll be some little jobs for me to do this in an evening. I'll just show you a bit of fabric that I've pulled out that I'm going to be using. So I've got some sheep fabric, so I've got a few bits of this, so I might get a couple of baskets in this. So that's all cotton. Then I've got my nice William Morris fabric that I bought. that if you followed me for a while you'd have seen this. So I am going to use that. I'll probably get more than a couple out of this. I've got a bit of this watering can fabric that I'm going to use as well. So I don't have a great deal of all these bits of fabric, but I thought I would use them because they're really nice. And then for me, I am going to make myself a couple of these, because these will sit on the shelf actually in the living room with any projects, or upstairs, any projects that I've got going. But I've got some, excuse the rustling, I've got some thistle fabric. And then this is one that I bought while I've been away at some point. So that's got the thistles on. And now I think this bag that I've got now is what Adele bought me when she went to Scotland for a visit. So this is all thistles, and yeah, it's all thistles. So I've got that. Oh, it's a stag. I didn't see that. So I've got that one. And then I've got this one. So yeah, it's another thistle one. Then I've got that one, and I've got that one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll make a decision on whether I want the larger basket or the medium basket, and then I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to probably make an iPad case. So I've got another iPad case, so everything sort of coordinates. And I'd probably like a notebook sleeve as well, so when I go away I can take my notebook away, I can take my iPad away, I can take my basket of goodies away. So I've got something that I like that's just, you know, just for me. And then whatever's left over excuse me, I will probably see what I can make then, if there's anything left to put in the shop. So that's a few of the things I'm going to be working on next week. And I have been busy playing on Canva this week. I wanted to make some labels for my bag, so they can go inside. Because the labels that I've got, you just stitch them in the side, which they're okay, but I wanted something different because I've had that kind for years. I don't have a lot of my old labels left now, so I decided that I wanted to do my own. So I have watched, it's taken me ages to find a tutorial on how to actually do them in Canva, because everybody that I've watched, they don't show you how they do it in Canva. I know I mentioned this last week, and by sheer chance something popped up on my YouTube and I thought, right, go and watch it. And once I watched this lady, I don't know how old this video is, but it's not recent, and she's a quilter, and she explained everything, showed you what to do, and I thought, oh gosh, that is quite easy. So I went and did all that, but now I haven't got Word on my computer. And what she did is put her labels into Word just to get them printed off. I can't do that. So Jake found me Google's version of Word, which was free, and it didn't really work. The labels were coming out slightly different size and the printing was a bit blurred. So I thought, oh God, it's my printer. So I know you need to print the labels off in like the high quality, and when I've gone into my printer settings, there is nothing there. All I've got is standard and just plain paper and photo paper gloss and that. That is it. I have a choice of nothing else. And I'm thinking, something must have changed in my printer settings, because this is not right. I've always had a choice. So I had a Google search to see if when you upgrade to like Windows 10, if it alters your settings, and it does, which I didn't realise that. So But so I said to Jake, oh, is there anything you can do? So Adele tried to see if she could sort it out, because she has Word on her computer, and so she said she'd do it for me. So she did it. The labels turned out a little bit better. The wording wasn't fuzzy so much. But then she's tried to, what does she try and do? Oh, she's tried to print, and she no longer has any of the print settings that she had. So whatever's happened with these updates we've been getting, it's wiped all the settings out for the printer. So she's gone off to her studio now, because she needs her printer for doing stuff for her business. So she's gone to see if she can sort it out. So I'm hoping she can. Oh, otherwise it's a nightmare. So anyhow, I'll show you what I've done. They're my labels. This is just on a piece of paper, because I'm not wasting my label paper at all. So I get 25 labels on a sheet, and they work out just under 4p per label. That's just the paper, that doesn't include the ink. So, but I've got an Epson printer and the inks are pretty cheap on there. But I get 20 sheets of transfer paper in a pack for £9.99. So a sheet works out at 50p. I think I'd worked that out right. So I think they're 4p each, the labels, which is not bad, because when I last got my labels, which is probably over a year ago, what did I spend? I think it was £15.99 I spent for 100 labels. So for £9.99 I can get 500 labels if I do it myself. So I have printed off a couple of sheets. They're not 100% perfect, but I can use them, so I am going to use them. So I've got 50 labels. So, oh dear, got the cough, excuse me. I've printed, like I said, I printed them out on the transfer paper, so I'm hoping this evening I can get them to the next stage on some fabric and then get them cut up, and then I want to use one, wash it and dry it and just test it to make sure it works before I do any more. So I'm just hoping Adele can sort out the printer. Otherwise I'll have got 50 labels and that'll be it. But we'll see, won't we? So yeah, so next week it's just going to be crocheting on my cardigan and on the pig, making some of these gorgeous baskets, and I'm going to try the next size up as well. So I hope you like them. So like I said, they will be coming to the website soon. I just want to make a few first. So I think that's probably everything I've got to talk about this week. I've got nothing else sat here. Yeah. Yes, that's it. I think that's everything I've got to share with you. So thank you for joining me today. I hope everybody has a lovely week. I hope you managed to get lots of crafting done, and I hope the weather's kind to you as well. So take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.